Hi, so this is Julian Roberts, correct?
It is. Hi there, Nina. Good to see you again.
Yeah, would you like to just introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yes, indeed. I'm a executive and business coach, and I help business owners, I help leaders achieve success with less stress, less burnout, and less pressure. And I've been in business, my own coaching practice for the last 5.5 years. And prior to that, I was in the corporate world for 20 years, running sales teams, developing strategies for growth for companies, and helping ultimately companies grow.
Perfect. And you've just done a webinar, haven't you, for the FSB? What's the FSB?
The FSB is the Federation of Small Businesses.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a massive organization, and so lots of, whether it's solopreneurs to small businesses, are part of that.
Okay, so I met Julian. We were at a networking event, weren't we? And we sort of got together and had a bit of a chat afterwards. And I just thought it might be really interesting for our group. We're all sort of recent graduates. We're at varying stages of starting our new businesses. Some of us are
Mm.
way ahead of the others, and the rest of us are kind of. So I wondered if maybe you could tell us. We were talking about maybe putting on a webinar, weren't we? So a couple of hours with a few strategic pieces of information that would help small businesses get started. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. When I did my coaching training, they don't help you with the whole business side of things,
No shit.
which is really a bit of a failing, I think, in any industry, whether you're therapy or in coaching. I'm fortunate because I've got my background is in business and developing business, and it's interesting. Often businesses don't have that sort of clarity they would like to have or they want to achieve, and but they do have that clarity. Knowing how to achieve those sort of clear goals
Yeah.
can also be really challenging, especially if you've not run a business before. You know, you're great at your therapy, you're great at your coaching and what you do, but we need clients, we need a plan, we need how to go about it. So I run a 2-hour business or planning session online. I did this with the FSB last week, where you'll get some help with clarity on what you want to achieve, because that's the first point of call, really,
Yeah.
but also the steps to fulfilling those goals. And it's a simple process. I believe in simplicity is the best way.
Amen.
It's not overcomplicated, but it will give you a real structure to develop an 18-month plan to develop your business and give you that sort of real clarity of what to do next. And
Can
those
you give us
steps
a
very
couple of
clear.
examples? Like what kind of thing?
Yeah, so
On the
we'll
spot?
talk. Yeah, no, we'll talk about creating a vision for your business and a mission or whatever you want to call it. So where do you want to go? Where do you want this business to be in 5-10 years time? Sounds very grand, but actually it's good to know where you're trying to head and where you want to take this business. And that could be a value, that could be a lifestyle, whatever it may be. You create that, what you want it to be. And then it's then dropping down into sort of key things like objectives. What key things are you going to do? And these are smart objectives over the next sort of 12-18 months. And that's almost probably the easiest part. And then often people don't set these goals and then they stop, and that's it. I've set a goal and therefore it will happen. Well, no, you have to create some strategies.
Yeah.
And so then you work on the how. And sometimes you might need support with this and some help, but actually most times you can figure most things out. You set a goal of, I want to get 5 clients a month, whatever it is, and therefore you set some strategies. Okay, that could
Do
be
you
your
help
bar.
us with those strategies? Is that part of it, or is that?
It's part of the, I'll give you some ideas on the night and in terms of how that might be. But like all these things, you can only do so much in 2 hours. And the key thing with this is some aspects, and it's all about the interaction. And so I'm happy to take questions on, yes, how do you develop clients? How do you get clients? And so we can talk about that, and that's we can go off a little bit of a tangent that's more valuable on the evening. But definitely we can talk about that. Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing that you and I talked about was progressing on from the. Oh, well, by the way, that was going to be. You said it was about what, 15 quid a person or something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, I thought £15 per person.
Okay, which is nice. That's reasonable. And we also talked about a subsequent group of maybe 6, more of a sort of strategic group that gets together. Was it, I don't know, once every week or couple of weeks? I can't remember.
Yeah,
And
we
actually does.
thought Yeah, I thought doing something like where we get together every 2 weeks, perhaps over sort of 3-4 months, and it's six to eight maybe sort of individuals, where we can sort of go in a bit more detail on stuff and do that more. We've got a challenge. Nina's got a challenge on this particular area, and we all try and help use the brains and the minds in the group. But also, I can bring some content on aspects of whether that's trying to get clients, how to market yourself, how to put yourself out there, how to overcome those limiting beliefs of how much you charge, those sort of things that tend to get in the way, don't they? And I can do that, but I can also, depending on the individual, I can do individual stuff as well, depending on how. But yes, we can play around with that. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So that's probably. Is there anything else you want to add? Because I want to keep it short.
That should be fine. I'm happy to, and just need to arrange a date, whether it's daytime or evening.
Okay, so I'll see how many people are interested, and we'll sort that out. All right, brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Gonna
Nina.
stop the recording.